Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. Lydia wrote in.
Lydia, oh, have you seen Lydia? Oh, Lydia, the tattered lady.
Lydia said, hey, dum-dum, it is pronounced. Actually, she did not say, hey, dum-dum. She very politely said, it is search query, long E, a hard
Query.
E. Search query, not search query, search query.
What did I say?
You said query. I was saying query.
I
So
love
she said,
Lydia.
Lydia said,
Thank you, Lydia.
Meredith's correct. It's the hard E, long E.
Oh, she's welcome anytime.
I'm gonna try to play Mr. Smarty Pants now. Next time I'm in, there's somebody saying search in my industry saying search query.
I think you should.
I'm gonna try to sound smart now.
So,
Thank you, Lydia.
excuse me, Lydia knows best.
And actually, I then looked it up on Google, and it is search query.
Yeah.
Don't know why I never looked it up on Google beforehand, but
or trust your wife to know the answer.
That's another story. Do you remember what
one of the dogs scratching the bed?
Yeah, the floor.
Okay.
Do you remember what this series is about? This is the final part of this series.
No.
About blogging.
Blogging.
Getting specifically how to get your blog unstuck. So if you have a blog and you're feeling stuck, this is the fifth part. The last four parts have been about how to get unstuck.
Yes.
We first just did a little summary. And then you remember the first one was focus on process rather than what you want to write about. So that's a good way, I find, to get to, if you're having trouble, to get kind of started again is shift your focus.
Use the analogy of finding a good class that you like to exercise to, because then you'll go.
Yes, could be, I guess.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Lydia listened. She knows.
The next part was identifying old blogs that you can rewrite. Was a little bit now then we started getting into the process of so you're going to focus on process. Now what process should you focus on? A great way to sort of jumpstart, and just also good advice SEO wise overall. It's a great thing to do, but especially if you're feeling stuck trying to come up with new blogs, take a look at your old blogs and see what you can redo. That was part number 3. And then part number 4 was what can we do to those blogs just in general to update them. Now we want to talk about what can we do for new blogs.
Okay.
Because we can't just rewrite old blogs forever. We do have to create some new blogs.
We need new content as well.
And so the idea is to get your blog unstuck. That's going to involve new blogs.
And a lot of ice. Salt! A lot of salt.
Ice.
Salt. A lot of salt. Salt melts
salt?
Ice. And when you're stuck
to
in
get your
snow,
car unstuck.
You get your car unstuck. You put ice.
You
put salt. Salt. You put salt.
You put snow. If you're stuck in snow, you put snow.
You put chocolate in an envelope.
Yeah. I think a story here might help, because it's one thing to say get unstuck by doing X, Y, Z, and another thing to actually take that advice. Sometimes I think hearing an example is good.
Yes.
So I was thinking about a client that I had for many years, and they were doing the same thing. They were trying to come up with new blogs, and I, as their SEO person, went to take a look. Hey, what existing blogs do they have that are already doing well or have done well in the past? And I found something that nobody knew about. They did a blog every year. It was about, they were a...
One blog every year? That sounds like me.
One of their blogs every year. No, they had a really good team put together. So they had the ability to create blogs all the time. Determining what to write next was an issue.
Got it.
Like it is for many of us. So I looked at their old blogs, and they were doing one blog. I don't remember the time of year they were doing it, but it was like the color trends for the current year, whether it was 2023 or 2018. Is
that like Pantone?
18. No, they were a industrial commercial painting company, and residential. So they were a big painting company. They were a regional company. So they handled like New York and Connecticut and New Jersey. And so part of their blog every year was like, hey, what are the color trends for the upcoming year? Those types of blogs. And looking through their old blogs, I could see, those blogs always did pretty well.
Yeah.
Not only did they kind of tend to get a lot of traffic, they also attracted some inbound links. But the issue was they were doing one every year. So they did one for 2018, say, and 2019 and 2020 and 2021, et cetera.
I think we know what every year
You know what that means? Okay. So
shocking.
But the blogs I'm talking about, like the color trends of 2022. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So a good SEO, and what we talked about in the last part about how to update blogs like that, is don't do a new one every year. Redo the same one. And it's color, this year's color trends is the blog. Okay. And then you just update it every year, because as those blogs attract links, you want to keep building that blog. For example, my client had a bunch of blogs over the past few years that had links. It would be a lot better to combine those into one. So that's what they did. They created a single blog.
Wow.
So that was, like we discussed in part number 3, identify old blogs that are doing well. In part number 4, they shifted how they created that blog. And so they also did what we're going to talk about today. How can they use that information to create new blogs? So they had this great sort of annual color trend guide.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of research on my end and a little bit of thought on their end, we'd figured out, people are also looking for color trends for the bedroom and for kitchens and bathrooms and offices. So they expanded, they created new blogs that way, and they created this sort of content hub around color trends, like residential color trends, bedroom, like all these different rooms. That did even better. So the following year, they expanded again, and we started doing more keyword research and figuring out, people are also looking for how do colors affect mood? How can you create calming, energizing areas for focus? And so they created a hub outside of that. So these blogs did really well. So that's kind of what we want to achieve. If you are going back, as we did in the last couple parts, we looked at how can we identify the previous blogs that are doing well. Now we take those ideas and we build on those ideas.
You're pretty much saying, if it works, don't fuck it up.
Go with it. Yeah. Go with what's working. Yeah.
Go with what's working. Don't try and, as they say, reinvent the wheel. Yeah. Just go with it.
That's why people get stuck, because they're trying to always reinvent the wheel. You don't need to always do that. You can go with what's working. So if you have gone through and looked to see which of your previous posts have done well and thought about at all how you can improve those posts, I guarantee you that's probably going to give you some ideas for new blog posts.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. If it doesn't, then just take the keyword that is leading into one of your popular blog posts and go stick it into SEMrush or whatever keyword research tool you use and see what else people are looking for. That will give you some ideas. And as you're doing this, think about creating content hubs. Like my client created a hub around color trends. And the main piece of that content hub was color trends for 2023. The sort of branches of that hub, or the spokes of that hub, were color trends for the bedroom, bathroom, office, etc. And then a new hub became, how do you affect mood with color? So try to create hubs like this. Content hubs like this are great for SEO. They give you a lot of authority. They're really good to do.
And it's something that you're already familiar with.
Yes. Yeah, you've already written about it. Hopefully you know something about it, or you've done something with it.
Yeah.
So the one thing to be careful of when you're doing this, if you see a blog that's done really well in the past, don't do the same thing again, thinking that if it's done well, another one is going to do twice as good or twice as much. It will not. In fact, it will have the opposite effect. Like the Strokes' second album.
Yes,
like the Strokes' second album, exactly. Yeah. You want to create something new. Now, it can be similar, and in fact, the whole process that I'm describing here, yes, it's definitely going to be similar, but it should have at least slightly different keyword focus. It's got to be like color trends for the bedroom 2023, not color trends 2023. And you have the bedroom and the kitchen and the office. They have to have a little difference. You can't just do color trends for 2023, see that it works, and then say, okay, let's do another color trends for 2023. That's you're going to compete with yourself, which we've talked about.
Right. Because in everything, there are categories. Like in states, there are cities. In cities, there are roads. In roads, there are houses and neighborhoods.
That's actually an excellent example.
I know. Lydia would be proud.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fantastic example.
Thank you. Every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. So you might be thinking, oh, this is great. This is a great way to create blogs, but these blogs don't help me get any clients. Like, to be honest, for my client, the Color Trends blog, it drew traffic from all over the country, all kinds of people who are not even potentially their client. But when you build authority like this, when you build ranking around a content hub, Google starts to like your site and say, oh, they have authority about this. And that improves your rankings for everything.
Yeah.
All of your keywords. So yes, you may have a blog that did well in the past and got a lot of traffic, and you may create something similar, and it might not directly result in people finding that blog and hiring you. But if it gives you authority and gives you better rankings in Google, the people who are looking to hire you, there's a much better chance of them actually finding you.
Absolutely.
Does that all make sense?
Yes, it does. No more times we need to repeat it.
All right, so that's it.
Yay.
That is how to get your blog unstuck.
And go do it.
Thank you, Lydia.
Okay, sorry. Hold on. I just want to trim my bangs.
Trim your bangs during the podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's important to do.
Yes, it is. Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, yes, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.